Ready to return to a galaxy of ancient mysteries and immortal warriors? When excitement for The Old Guard 2 intensifies, we're going behind the scenes to reveal every intriguing detail about the impending follow-up. Accompany us on this thrilling expedition as we solve the puzzles, conjuncture about the futures of our cherished characters and contemplate the existential inquiries central to this enduring narrative. And who will stand up? And who's going to tumble? Most importantly, what fresh difficulties are in store for our unsinkable heroes? With the debut of its film, The Old Guard 3 years ago, Netflix created a stir in the action genre. The Old Guard, which is based on the same title comic novel, is about a gang of immortal mercenaries. Under Andy's leadership, the organization has gone unnoticed for millennia prior till recently. The organization is finally exposed after lifetimes of clandestine missions, and they must take all necessary precautions to keep their secrets and themselves safe. When the group discovers a new immortal named Nile, who they eventually enlist to assist in destroying the threat against them, things get even more complicated. Within the first week of its release, The Old Guards became one of Netflix's most watched movies. It was an immediate hit. Additionally, it was the first time a female black director had reached the Netflix charts. Furthermore, The Old Guard garnered positive reviews from both reviewers and viewers in general. It presently has an 80% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Many people were curious about whether The Old Guard would get a sequel soon after it came out, especially given the cliffhanger that the film left us with. Fortunately, a sequel was confirmed in 2021 and is now more likely than ever to be released on screens. On the other hand, you might be wondering about the release dates. Are you excited to know about it? The Old Guard 2 does not yet have a set release date as of this video. It is currently scheduled for release later this year, most likely in the fall of winter 2024. Nevertheless, it's possible that the movie won't be released until early mid-2024. Similar to its predecessor, the follow-up will be available on Netflix. So, do you remember where the first season ended? Even while The Old Guard's plot was mostly resolved, it left a few significant loose ends that were picked up in The Old Guard 2. First of all, after a near-death experience, Andy discovered that she was no longer immortal. Even though she is still alive, she is currently the group member who is most in danger. Even though she appears in the follow-up, her fate is far more certain because, should the gang come into danger, she's the most likely to perish. The group also discovered that one of their own bookers had deceived them in the interim. The others punished him with exile after the revelation. The first credits roll, followed by a mid-credits sequence that takes place 6 months after the events of the film. A woman named Quinn, a fellow mortal who has lived much of her existence imprisoned in a coffin beneath the sea, soon approaches Booker, who resides in a small apartment. Andy and Quinn had a deep relationship. Thus, Andy grieved Quinn's fate, but Quinn discovered a way to break free, and she eventually located Brooker. Although it's unclear how or why she got to Brooker, The Old Guard 2 will probably explain. On the other hand, are you confused about what exactly The Old Guard is all about? Let's have a look at it. Although the plot of The Old Guard 2 is currently unknown, the conclusion of the first film gives us a hint as to what to expect from the follow-up. Andy may discover that Quinn is still alive and will have to face a whirlwind of emotions spanning decades now that he's back in the picture with Quinn. Charlize Theron expressed her desire to delve more into Andy and Quinn's relationship with Seth Meyers in 2020. If the plot of the sequel stays true to the graphic novel, Quinn might also be a drug lord. Her unexpected presence at Brooker also suggests that a collaboration of some kind is imminent, whether Booker wants it or not. Last but not least, producer Mark Evans said that The Old Guards 2 climax merits a third film, suggesting that the sequel will have even more surprises. Do you expect any new castings in the upcoming season? If you are wondering about the casting and the characters of the upcoming season, let's have a look at it. It's been announced that some characters from The Old Guard will make a comeback. Charlize Theron, who plays the group's leader, Andy, opens up things. Theron most recently returned to the role of Cypher in the most current Fast and Furious film, Fast X, in addition to Andy. She also starred in Bombshell, Tully, and several Netflix adaptations last year, including The School of Good and Evil. Nile, the newest member of the Immortal crew, is portrayed by Kiki Lane. Lane is well known for her role to Native Son, Coming to America, and If Beale Street Could Talk. Playing Margaret in Don't Worry Darling was her most recent credit. As everyone's favorite star-crossed pair, Joe and Nikki respectively, Marwan Kenzari and Luca Marinelli make a comeback. Kenzari most recently starred in Black Adam on DC and Ghosted on Apple TV+. In addition, he is well known for the live-action films The Promise, Murder on the Orient Express, and Aladdin. Amongst Marinelli's credits are Diabolic and FX Strauss, as well as the 2022 film The Eight Mountains. His upcoming film M Son of the Century stars him. Actor Matthias Schoenaerts, who most recently starred in the Canal Plus series Django, portrays the banished Booker. In addition, he starred in Red Sparrow and Amsterdam, and he will soon be seen in Terrence Malick's The Way of the Wind. Returning to the role of Copley, the group's handler and the lone non-immortal, is Chiwetel Ejiofor. The sci-fi or romance film The Pod Generation, in which Ejiofor starred with Emilia Clarke, was his most recent role. He played Baron Mordo for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and starred in the television series The Man Who Fell to Earth last year. His next endeavors include Rob Pease and Venom 3. Not to mention Veronica Nago's position as Quinn will expand. Nago was featured in The Princess of Hulu and Furies on Netflix in 2022. Star Wars The Last Jedi and The Five Bloods are amongst her other well-known credits. What do you think about it? Henry Golding and Uma Thurman have also joined the cast in roles that are still unknown. Thurman is most known for her numerous memorable roles, but she is most recognized for her works in Kill Bill and Pulp Fiction films directed by Quentin Tarantino. In Batman and Rob, she played Dr. Pamela, also known as Poison Ivy. Thurman starred in the television series Suspicions and Super Pumped, as well as Hollywood Stargirl most recently. She will also be seen with her daughter Maya Hawke in the upcoming film The Kill Room. Henry Golding, who is still relatively new to the feature film industry, played Nick in the 2018 Crazy Rich Asian remake, which gave him his breakthrough performance. He then starred in another adaptation, A Simple Favor, opposite Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. He most recently starred in Persuasion 2022. He will next be seen in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. On the other hand, have you ever thought about who is behind all this brilliant work? Screenwriter Greg Rucka is back with the Old Guard 2 script. Previously, he adapted his graphic novel of the same name into a screenplay for the Old Guard. A graphic novel also served as the basis for the ABC sitcom Stumptown, which Rucka created and executive produced before the films. The one-season show, which starred Kobe Smulders, is about Dex Parios, a former military man who became a private investigator. White Out is a comic novel written by Rucka, who's also the executive producer of the adaptation. In addition to the Old Guard 2, Rucka has contributed to the upcoming animated show Batman, Cape Crusader on Prime Video, and Heart of Stone for Netflix. Victoria Mahoney, the director of the Old Guard 2, succeeds Gina Prince by the Wood, the director of the Old Guard. As a director, Mahoney has contributed to numerous feature films and television shows. Her notable television credits include You on Netflix, Lovecraft Country on HBO, Apple TV Plus's The Morning Show, and Grey's Anatomy on ABC, among many others. Regarding cinema, she wrote and directed the feature Yelling to the Sky, which marked her directorial debut. In Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, she also directed the second unit. So what do you think about the updates in the upcoming season? Even nevertheless, there are still unanswered questions that piqued our interest. Will we see the return of long-lost enemies or fresh foes that will try the mettle of our unkillable heroes? How will their history influence the present and ultimately determine the fate of all people? If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like more movie updates, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon not to miss out on any video, and do get notifications on time. Don't hesitate to give suggestions for our videos. See you in the next one.